What's going on, everyone? We're back with another watch list video. It's your first time here, like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications for when we go live or post videos like these, hit the bell. And if you want to join the UvH fam, our community, links are below in the description to our Discord, along with our free options trading group. Whether you're a beginner, experienced trader, everyone is welcome. We talk about the market pretty much all day long. We go over trades, trade ideas, and just kind of bounce things off and just chill. It's a really great community, pretty upbeat. Everyone's really friendly. So if you want to join in, links are below in the description. Last couple days, the Dow has plunged 800 points in the last 2 days. We just kicked off Q4, first 2 days in October. Things are getting a little heated. So depending on what side of the market you're on, hopefully you've been shorting. Hopefully you haven't been clinching cheeks. Hopefully you've been able to make some money the last couple of days. Today I was actually down $39, and I think it was due to me just being in too many stocks. And the stocks that I did pick, like I chose to trade Alibaba and Netflix. It really wasn't. They weren't really moving after when I put the positions on. They just kind of stayed the same price. So I probably should have traded SPY. At the end of the day, you could have done a lot of things different. When you end up when your P&L is flat for the day, really, on a big down day like today, you should have made a lot of money. And yes, I should have. But however, that is not the case. And sometimes, that's just the way it rolls. I mean, I'm thankful that I didn't take a huge loss. I'm thankful that I was able to stay safe in this environment, and sometimes that's what it is. Right now, kind of like similar as last night. Actually, we had a bigger down day than yesterday. Last night we also had futures are up. S&P's up 6. Dow's up 54, and NASDAQ is up 13. Now, before you get too excited, I notice a lot of people are starting to get long before they're like, oh man, the futures are up. I'm gonna buy all the calls I can. I'm gonna do all this stuff. I'm going to put half my account in calls, and then we'll see what happens. And we've been down so much the last couple of days, and things could really pop back up. Now, before you get too excited about the market buying calls, and yes, I guess they say what they say. What goes down must come up, or vice versa, or what goes up must come down. I think we're in a pretty dangerous spot. And also keep in mind, we have more economic data coming out. So the reason why the market is dropping so low the last couple of days is because we're getting economic data, manufacturing data. We also had the ADP payroll come out today, and people were afraid that there's a recession on the way, economic slowdown. We also have more manufacturing data coming out. We also have more payroll data coming out, unemployment coming out this week. So before you start getting too long, and before you start putting all your account in there, because from my experience, people get, when there's down days and let's say you made $500 today, maybe you made $1,000, maybe you made more than that. People start to get greedy, and then they start piling in their gains. They start putting more money up, and they're starting to say, hey, if I made $5,000 today, I can make $10,000 tomorrow. And then you start kind of rolling that way. But when you're in a high volatility environment, when things are kind of crazy, IV implied volatility has spiked up here. We're back into the range that we were trading in August through pretty much all of August, when we were having some trouble with the market. We're back, sucked back in this range, and it was due mostly all to the data. We're still fighting this trade war. People are saying we should go long before the meeting. And honestly, where I'm at with the trade war and all that stuff is, I don't trade it until the news actually comes out. like because they've been teasing, any day now we're probably going to get a tweet from, China talks are going great, looking forward to it, and the market rebounds, 500 points or something crazy like that, and if you're looking at Trump's tweets today, I mean, he was, I would say, a little bit nervous. I mean, the impeachment is coming down the pipe. I mean, things are economic data is bad. Impeachment, I think the Democrats are really trying to spread him thin before the election, make him fight battles on many fronts. And right now, it's so far being effective. At the end of the day, I mean, you don't want to see things. You don't want the economy to go down. You don't want good people to lose jobs. But at the end of the day, I mean, as traders, we just got to trade the tape. We can't we can't focus on why or who or what. We just got to focus on the numbers and making sure that our accounts are safe, that we're locking in gains, that we're keeping losses small. So, for SPY, what I'm looking at here is we can have some more red days. We can come back down. We did bounce off of 286 today, which people started to get kind of bullish after we started to level out. People started to get a little bullish, and sure, you could have made some money on calls today after that. But for me, I'm just kind of playing it safe. After I got out of the market, I had a $39 loss all day today. I just really wanted to see where we're going to end up tomorrow, what more data is going to come out, and where futures are going to be tomorrow. Because right now this didn't mean anything. I mean, futures are up like 100 points, 90 points yesterday when I was doing the video, and right now they're up, like Dow's up 44. So, I wouldn't really rely on the futures right now for what's to come tomorrow. I mean, it's good to check out, good to see. I mean, futures were down like 500, Dow's down like 500 points right now. I mean, that'd be a different story. But essentially, with the amount of movement that we're having right now, this is essentially flat right here. But we're back in range. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this came back down to the bottom of the range here, which was like the 284, 285 area. And then we started to bounce back up. But right now, I think we need a catalyst to really move the market higher, because we just have so much bad press, so much bad data coming out, and the market is reacting, and we haven't really moved that much over the last. I mean, we've been trading in the same range for it seems like forever. I mean, like half the year now, and we did we're nowhere near, but nowhere as near as like 233 low, which we had last December. In January we're at like 245. And then we had a nice recovery. But, I mean, not to say things can't get, if the trade talks start going bad, if things start getting piled up, I mean, things are going to get a little crazy. Another thing on the docket today came out after close. We're going to start putting tariffs on the EU. I think it was October 18th. So we're putting 10% tariffs on aircraft from France, 25% of Germany, Spain, and United Kingdom, 25% duties on single malt Irish and Scotch whiskeys, 25% tariffs on coffee and certain tools and machinery from Germany, 25% duties on. So we're fighting, we're putting tariffs on other things because whether it's right or wrong, whatever the case is, this is what's happening. And President Trump thinks that America is essentially getting ripped off, which is why he's imposing all these tariffs so we can start making some money. Earlier the WTO, World Trade Organization, gave the Trump administration the right to put tariffs on $7.5 billion in European goods. The U.S. had lodged complaints first in 2004 over what it called illegal subsidies for aircraft maker Airbus by several of the European governments. So, this is something that's been kind of going on for a while, but we just got the approval to put these tariffs on. So, that being said, it's going to be really interesting to see what the market does. They didn't make a big deal about it, but things, it wasn't that much money. I mean, $7.5 billion, not that much in the big scheme of things. So we'll see what happens with that. Also, what's happening is Tesla. They finally reported their Q3. They missed estimates. So they were expected to hit 99,000 in Q3. They only did 97,000. It was kind of interesting that email was leaked. I don't know if Elon was trying to roast bears before the report was coming out. Obviously, he knew what the report was. I don't know who leaked it, but whatever. So we'll see what happens with Tesla. I do think they're doing better than they were last year. Even though, like, if you look at the stock price here. The stock price, they have been taking a beating. Let's go to the 2-year. They have been taking a beating. They are way below like the 250, which they normally bounce at. They're at 243, not way below, but after hours they're at 233. Kind of what I like about this trade. I haven't been feeling Tesla over the last few days, mainly because it's been trading in a pretty tight range. I mean, 240 to 246. I mean, it's a wide range, but the movement doesn't seem very natural. I mean, we had very choppy trading here yesterday, and then it just skyrocketed for some odd reason, and then it was choppy again, then skyrocketed again. And then today there was some two-sided action, but I would say it was a little bit too choppy for me. This would have been a good short if you traded the breakdown here, but you know, it hasn't really been that interesting for me, because I really wanted to wait till what the report said, because everyone was going long, and obviously if everyone's going long, then of course they're going to bomb the report here. So it did hit a low of 228. After hours, it's back up to 233. What I like about this trade is that it's out of range now of where it's been sitting at, above 240 up here. So now it's below. So it's going to be really interesting so right now it's about right here, 233. Let me bring up the 1 year so it's a little easier to see. Oh, geez, come on. Let me bring up so now it was kind of getting flat like around here. So I was really waiting to see if it was going to break out like above 250, but now we got the answer. So now it's below 240, which has kind of been consolidating at in the past few days around here. Like I said, so now mid-range is going to see if it's going to try to bounce back up to 240, or we're going to head lower down to like the 220 area. So I'm going to be watching for that to see which direction it actually takes. Another stock that I'm looking at for tomorrow, Apple. And like I said, yesterday I had a lot of things on my watch list. Today I'm really going to just try to focus on a couple stocks and bring that in. What I like about here is we're now at the bottom of this range on Apple. So on the 1 year chart, we're on the bottom of this range. So if we can open up below 217, like maybe like 216 area, I think this will be great for shorts. If not, I think that we could go long on the above 220. Probably try to make a run to 220. We finally had the breakout over JP Morgan upgrade, and then we had good news regarding the iPhone sales. But obviously the market tanked today, last couple of days. So that's why we're having, that's why we're down. But really interesting to see if it could bounce here, which it has been. However, we've been having some really bad reports come out, so not sure. So like I said, I'm looking if it can go like 217, 216 area, no doubt could go 210 or below. I don't see it. I don't see a huge reason for it to be above here other than good news released by Apple, but Apple's not coming up for earnings yet. I mean, their earnings actually hasn't been announced yet, so we'll see what happens. Costco has earnings after close tomorrow or Thursday, whenever you're watching this. Sorry, I spilled water on my desk here. Costco has been kind of coming down the last few days. Today it did make a nice recovery from 282 back up to 285 to finish out the day green by $1. So that was pretty interesting. I do think that this is still descending. We really need to get above 290 for it to really break this range. If we can get it like 290, 295, it can start carrying, trying to head up back up to 300. But right now, it still looks like a potential short for me. I'm going to be looking at it not to trade before earnings, but to trade after earnings. But I'm monitoring it because I wait till after earnings so I can get that premium crush. I don't try to sell spreads or anything on it because I do think this could be a wild one. After we had earnings last quarter, it was a catalyst for it to run all the way up to 307. So we'll see what happens. We're kind of high up here. So also during this whole thing, they opened their first store in China, which caused it to skyrocket even more. So without that news, I bet you it would crap out like 280. But now it's kind of fading off that China news. So we'll see what happens. So I'm definitely looking at that. The good thing is if you do try to trade this tomorrow, the interesting thing is that there's not going to be really much theta or IV crush tomorrow because earnings is going to be after. So you could probably take some risk and day trade it as long as you get out before close. So might be a good day trade tomorrow. Just be aware that the options are going to be overpriced because we have a plus or minus move of $13, mainly because they have earnings. So the event hasn't happened yet. So these options are going to be pretty pricey. The good news is they're not going to really come down in terms of implied volatility or theta until the event is over. But premium is looking pretty thick here. We're expecting a plus or minus move of $13, which is pretty big for Costco. Normally it doesn't move that much during earnings, so it'll be definitely pretty interesting. Another stock on my watch list is Goldman Sachs. I tried to trade it today, but I had a terrible entry. I got in on this candle when I should have gotten in when I tried to retouch 200. You know, that's just the way my day was going. Sometimes you have bad entries, and luckily I got out for a small loss. But that's sometimes you have bad entries. Don't try to force. If you have a bad entry, you don't want to try to force the trade and make it happen, because it's not going to happen. It was your fault that you entered at the wrong time, so now you got to suck it. So for me, I lost small on it. I only lost like 10-15%, but we could have. I put a lot of risk on, because when it ran up to here to 200, I was down like $70 on that position, and then I came back down. I was down like $20 or so. I sold it, and I could have made a little bit of money. But if the reverse, if I shorted it up at like 199, 200 area, I could have made a quick 100, 150, $200. Instead, I paid back $20 because of my entry was terrible. I shorted right here at like 198.50. It ran up a couple bucks. I was down, and then once it came back down, you know how how that goes. So, yeah. But what I like about Goldman Sachs here is kind of like the other trades that I'm looking at. It's trying to come back to the support here. I'm looking to see if it can break down, or if it's going to bounce off of the support here around the 197, 196 area. Today it did. Last couple of days it had big drops, but it really was just in the morning, and the rest of the time it just kind of chilled. Like today, there really wasn't much opportunity after the initial hour and a half today. The rest of the time it just kind of pinged back and forth like a dollar, which doesn't make for very good trading. So Square is my other one, and this is my last one. I have 2, 4, 6 stocks I'm looking at, and I'll probably trade just like 2 or 3 of them. And as I'm talking here in the last 10 minutes or so, look, Dow's down. Dow's only up 11. S&P's only up $1. We're coming here. While this is happening, which is kind of interesting here. So try to make another run at this high here, 289.97. Got stopped out here like 289.90, and now it's coming back down. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I guess watch this while I'm talking. Is the if it's gonna bounce off this 280 to 2880 range. The market, it's always fascinating. Square. So Square, I was looking here. So for me, it still looks like a potential short. We had a high here, another high here, another high here, which the highs keep getting lower. And it did bounce pretty good off of 59 today, but we'll see if we can get this break below 60, because I think that it might be wanting to revisit 55. Square's kind of in trouble here. I think they hit a high of 100, and now they're down. I think they even in the last couple of years they went higher than that. Was it the high? No, 101.15, and they've just kind of been in a downtrend. I mean, they had bad earnings last quarter, so it's going to be really interesting. They haven't announced earnings either. Actually, I don't even have. I think I'm thinking of on Tastyworks, so I thought the earnings were going to show up in. Okay, their earnings are not till November 6th, and like I said earlier, okay, Apple's is October 30th, so forgive me. I thought for some reason I was in Tastyworks, and they don't on the trade screen on the options chain they show when their earnings is, and I'm on Thinkorswim, so they don't show that. So my bad. It's been a long day staring at numbers, but here we are. So I'm looking at a potential Square. I'm looking at a potential short here. Revisit the 155 area. We'll see if we can retest the 59, see if we can get a break, and go from there. That's about it, guys. So again, let me know what stocks you're watching below. Comment below. If you watch this video to the end, comment watch to the end. And if also do me a favor, if you like the content here, hit the like button on the video. Really helps me out with YouTube. As always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.